Hi, everyone. Welcome to my workshop. Today is kind of like an after tax season review. I know when you come to this workshop, you probably pay too much taxes and you want to know why, and you want to know how you're going to do better next year. So I'm going to trying to leave 10 minutes for questions. And then we'll see, we'll go from there, okay? If you haven't come to my workshop, I'm Diana Yang. I'm based in Connecticut, Darien. Actually, I'm sitting in my office now, in my Darien office. My background is I'm a CPA, many years of tax practice and tax planning. And the past 10 years, I have been focused on financial planning for families and individuals, and a lot of them are on retirement planning. So a lot of the financial advisors, they don't know taxes. So taxes is the first one you should think about when you're investing, because it doesn't matter the market up or down, you still pay taxes. So that is about me. Tonight, we're going to cover some of the tax return. Okay, I'm going through the pages. So usually, you just went through the tax season. Okay, I had to let people in, sorry. You just went through the tax season, so who's paying a lot of taxes, or you are pretty much satisfied? If you're satisfied, you're paying the fair amount, you put 1 in the chat box. If you think you're paying way too much, you have room to improve, you put a check box 2. Let me just try to take a survey. Nobody? Okay, so are you guys paying taxes? Did you file your tax return yet? Okay, this is a very interactive workshop. If you have any questions, try to save it to the end. But if I trying to ask you a question and try to answer it. Okay, so usually what causes your tax going up? People trying. It is number 1. You may have increased income this year. You may have get a raise in your salary. You get a big bonus at the end of the year, or you sell some properties, or your stock is doing pretty good and you harvest the gain, or you get a new job, a side jobs that generate more income. So that is possible causing your income increase and your tax increase. Or you receive extra unemployment benefit that is not being tax withheld. You distribute some retirement income from your retirement account. And I mentioned here in bonus. Before I go on, can anyone see my screen? Can anyone see
Yes.
my screen? Okay, all right. So, because usually I had to go through that because I cannot see it from here. Let me do on the slideshow mode. All right, so you're seeing 1 screen or 2 screen now?
2.
All right, okay. So also, when your family grow, you lose some deductions. Kids will grow and you don't have deduction left. Or you retire, you don't contribute to your 401k. You lose some of the child credits because they have grown, or you increase in your income. You earn income credit also. Because you increase your income, you lose those credits. You estimate tax paying too low. Because if you're self-employed, you don't pay enough in estimate tax, or you're under withhold. So if that costs you to pay a lot of tax at the year end, you should reduce your W-4 and boost up your withholding. Capital gain and investment income is another thing. Self-employment income and change your filing status. Or let's say you lose a dependent, your kids move out of the house, or, even divorce, you may pay more taxes because of that. So it's a life event change. So let me see, I can move my slides. Okay, so before we go on, I need to go through some of the basic concepts. What is an effective tax rate and what is a marginal tax rate? Okay, effective tax rate is very simple. You take your income divided by the tax you pay. I'm sorry, it's income, the tax you pay divided to your income, then you get an effective tax rate. And because tax is paying by level of incomes. For instance, if you are earning $1 to 11,600, you pay 10%. You're earning anything above to 23,201, you pay 12%. Okay, so your income tax is taxed through the level. So what is the marginal tax rate? So here you only have a small, this one, let's say this person is earning about 200,000. So every dollar, if he's over 201,051, if he earned $1, that dollar is going to tax on the 32%. Okay, so that is why it's so important to understand your marginal tax rate, because whatever incomes on top of that is going to tax on the highest tax rate. Okay, just to remember that. Okay, another important concept is AGI, adjusted gross income. This is the base they use to determine how much taxes you should pay. Okay, usually AGI is after the standard or Schedule A deduction after your 401k contribution and those things. So later on, I'm going to teach you how to minimize your AGI, adjust gross income. So maybe hopefully next year you will pay less tax. Okay, this is a 2004 tax bracket. We know that every year we have a new tax bracket. So 2025 hasn't come up yet. So all you need to do now is if you're under withhold, maybe you want to change your withholding. You don't want to snap with penalty and interest. Okay, remember those will be on top of your tax bracket. Okay. Long-term capital gain. So a lot of people, okay, now tax stock market is good. Let's sell some of the stock and let's say let's get some capital gain and pay for whatever. Okay, so just pay attention, right? So capital gain is knocks in every single dollar's tax if you are earning less than 47,025 when you're single. If you're filing joint, if you're earning AGI 94,050, you don't need to pay capital gain tax. Now, this is also included, not just your income, right? So including whatever stock you sold. So you add it all together, come up with the AGI, and then you see whether you exceed that amount. If you exceed that amount, you'll push up capital gain to being taxed on 15%. Now, it's going to be the whole amount of capital gain being taxed at 15%. It's not just that amount over your AGI. Okay, this is important. If you earn $10,000 on capital gain and your income is below filing joint 94,050, your capital gain is 0. But if you're earning $10,001, so your total income push up through 94,050, and now your whole entire $10,000 is going to get taxed on 15%. Okay, just pay attention to that. So when you try to sell some stock, and make sure you don't push yourself to the next bracket. All right. Now, a lot of people don't know, they also charge capital gain tax. If you live in California, New York, and they are the high states, Florida, Massachusetts too. Connecticut is still 6 point something. So Connecticut is moderate compared to New York, California. So think about that. You have 15% in federal. If you live in New York, another 12%. So your capital gains actually being charged close to 30%, right? Here's another thing. It's if you have a capital gain, you may get surcharge of 3.8% if you're filing joint over 250. So this is why it's so important to push your AGI below the radar. Okay, so this is it really depends on what's your purpose. You want to control the income, you want to control the capital gain, not being taxed. Got to pay attention to these things, right? Don't let it push up to from 0 to 15% and maybe add another 3.8%. That is really going through 30%. Okay, so that is very important. Now, another one, now I want to focus, if you're going through the deduction, how are you going to reduce the tax? So you can take a look at these schedule. Pay attention, especially Schedule 1. Okay, these are new schedules, relatively new. That was there when Trump was on the first term of presidency. So Schedule 1, very important. And the second important thing is Schedule A. Okay, Schedule A, it is the alternative for standard deduction. If you don't take standard deduction, you take Schedule A. So let's take a look at them. What is Schedule 1? Now, going through the schedule, you probably, if you have some time, read it. Okay, so here's the stuff, the action you can take in 2025 to reduce your income. What is that? Okay, so first of all, understand what is going to add it to your income. Tax-exempt interest, T-bonds, right? Federal treasury bonds. Those bonds mature, or the bonds dividend, they are state tax return, state tax exempt, but you should add it as a federal income, interest income, okay? So it's not totally 100% tax-free for the treasury bond. Dividends, IRA distribution, these will increase your AGI, your income. Pensions, Social Security benefit, a lot of people say, why I need to pay Social Security, a tax on my Social Security income? Yes, if you're over your income over certain limits, okay? Up to 85% of your Social Security income is going to be taxable. That is a pretty bad tax, I think, because when we work, we already pay Social Security taxes, has been taxed. So now when we distribute it, we're going to pay tax again. So, other incomes from here, adjust from income, Schedule 1, line 26, okay? So let's take a look at line 26. This is from Schedule 1, all right? If you're an educator, don't forget to take your educator's expense. If you, out of your pocket, you're buying some supplies for school or you know, for the classroom, don't forget to take your educator's expense. So there were a lot of house HSA account. If you set up an HSA account, this is the best account you have. If you haven't set it up, make sure you set up one. So as a family, you can deduct about $7,400 pre-tax. And when you put it in the HSA account, you can use it to pay for out-of-pocket expense for medical or for prescription. If you don't use it at age 65, you can take it out, no tax. as your retirement income. So this is the only account that has no tax from beginning to end. Okay, so if you haven't set it up, make sure you have one of these. Okay, if you move your home across the state because of your job, make sure you take the moving expense. Okay. Deductible part of self-employment tax. Now remember, if you're self-employed, you pay 7.5 for Social Security and 7.5 as a self-employed Social Security tax, right? So that 7.5, you get it back from your Schedule 1. Okay, now if you're self-employed, you pay for your health insurance, you pay for your long-term care insurance. Here's you're going to take a deduction here on line 29. Okay, so annuity, if paid IRA deduction, if you contribute to your IRA, right, you pay for your student loan, the interest is deducted here, tuition and fee. If you're going to education to further your career, that you're entitled to some of these. So make sure you understand them and make sure if you can take them, these are your not Schedule A deduction, but it is besides Schedule A. Okay. So now let's come to the second deduction is the big one. It's a Schedule A. So if you take the standard deduction, you're not going to take Schedule A. Now I'm going to blow it up a little bit. So I'm going to concentrate two, okay? One is medical. Now, medical, a lot of people don't have an HSA account and they pay a lot of out-of-pocket like co-insurance, drug, maybe out-of-the-counter, some of the co-medicine, maybe glasses or contact lenses. These are all you can put it in medical and dental, right? And including you drive to see your doctor, if you keep the mileage, you can deduct the mileage too. All right. But again, this is that's a haircut. We call the haircut. It's above your 7.5 of your AGI. Then you start deducting. If you are let's say if you you need a wheelchair, or you need a walking stick, or you need to build a ramp for the wheelchair, or you need to build what they call the stairs that you can go up and down the stairs for the elderly. These you can deduct it from here. Or you need denture, or you need cosmetic surgery is not deductible. But cosmetic surgery, because of some injury or some cancer, and that type of cosmetic surgery is deductible. Okay, so if you have questions, really you can talk to me. Another place I want to focus is charitable contribution gifts. Okay, if you like, write a check. You don't have to you just need the who you write it to and their EIN. If you donate the goods over $250, if you donate the goods over $500, you must attach a valuation of that, how to come up with the value. Okay. Now, here's another thing: casualty and theft. If your window of your car got broken into and the insurance company covers some of them, but you lost some properties inside the car, and those you can claim it. Okay, so if you got a hurricane, knock down a tree, and the insurance company pay for your house, but they don't pay for your tree. The tree is still lying there and maybe crash some of your garden structures, and that's, you may be able to claim from here. All right, so this is a Schedule 8. All right. Sorry, need to move that. Okay, so for medical expense, and some people will say, hey, you know, it's not that much. It's not going to over my 7.5 AGI. So if you're doing TurboTax, I think put it in anyway, because for some state, not the state of Connecticut, okay? For some state, you are not subject to the 7.5. So you may get a state deduction. You never know. Okay. These are some of the items that I talk about. Health club membership, unless it's recommended by the doctor, let's say a weight control program, it's prescribed by your doctor, it's deductible. Okay. Personal hygienes and other ordinary expense like toothpaste, over-the-counter medicine, and these are normally I will think, you know, the cold medicine, the allergy medicine, those will be deductible. Diaper service, if it's for adult, yes. For baby, no. Okay. All right, timing of your deduction. Some of the doctor's bill you send in at the end of the year, they don't catch the check until January. But this is the medical expense. You can deduct it as of when the year that you incurred the expense. Okay, so you don't need to wait until 2025 or 2026 to deduct it. All right, second one, if you haven't maximized your retirement accounts, and you should do it in 2025. Okay, these accounts will actually, because you can put in pre-tax money, it can actually reduce your AGI, thus reduce your taxable liability. Okay, all right. 401k, 403b, these are employer sponsor plan. So in I don't have the new number put in here. So very similar, maybe you get a little bit more every year. So in 2004, personal parts, your contribution, you can put up to 23K. If you put it in 23K, you cannot put it in traditional IRA anymore. Or you can put in traditional IRA and 401k together, you cannot exceed 23K. Okay, so these are the deadline. If you file extension, you still have time to put in your 2004 traditional IRA contribution. Okay, HSA account. So now, this is at the end of the year, you probably should check the new number and set it up. This account, this is a very good account. If you're self-employed, explore SEP, IRA, solo K, and this type of account. Okay, so another thing is, if you are just get a W-2, a lot of clients come to me if they are in January and they only have 2 W-2, chances is you're probably not able to deduct a lot of taxes. Okay, so think about if you have a second job, self-employed. Self-employed will allow you to deduct a lot of expense through your business. Okay, now here's another thing. You cannot always, many years down the road, have only expense but no income. That the IRS is going to treat it as a hobby, and your deduction are not allowed. Okay, now this is Schedule C deduction. As you can see, some of the travels and some of the phones, office expense, rent, and, a lot of these things you can deduct. Okay. All right, so I just went through the short term, how we're going to save taxes. From the long-term thinking, the long-term planning, and it is another perspective of saving taxes. If you want to save more taxes in the future, long-term planning is very important. Okay, short-term can only fix this year. A lot of the time, when you come to the CPA, at the end of the year, it's not fixable. So that's why at the beginning of the year, I tell you these are the things I just went through you should do in 2025. Okay, so as for long-term planning, you need to think about reallocating some of the assets to some tax efficiency accounts. Tax efficiency account. So what are tax efficiency accounts? If you put it on CD, banks, mutual funds, your Fidelity accounts, whatever, outside the IRA, you're going to receive 1099 every single year. Even though you hold your stock, you don't sell it, you still got dividend taxed, interest taxed. And when you sell it, capital gain tax. So this is called a taxable account. Okay, every year you're being taxed. You earn $10+ in your savings, taxed, including your property, right? So your rental income is taxing every year. Now, what is not taxable? We call it tax defer. Okay, these are the retirement account I just mentioned, 401k, IRA account, your annuity, including your rental property. You can think about holding your property to the end, you sell it, it's a tax defer. We call it tax defer. But this is very good for current year. But when you distribute them, if you put it too much here, when the danger is you create a lot of tax liability in the future. So just make sure while you are trying to defer tax on current year, don't build up your tax bomb for the future. Okay, so I can teach you some of these strategy, how you're going to diversify your investment so you can save a little tax in the current year. Don't overload it until it becomes a bomb in the future, and diversify some of the accounts into tax efficiency, like the Roth IRA. If you are limited, your income allows you to invest in Roth IRA, it is time to load it up. If your company offer Roth 401k, now Roth 401k does not subject to IMD, so it is like a Roth. So Roth 401k, you can put in $23,000, 2024, load it up if you have those, okay? 7702 is investment inside a life insurance policy. It's also tax-free in access. Now, these are pre-tax dollar. So one is like a seed money. You pay the government, and whatever, how big it grows, you'll never see a dime of tax coming out of that. These are very good accounts, okay? So consider invest some of these. Don't just build up your tax bomb or paying tax every year. Okay, so it is like the scale, right? So you need to have some of the tax defer to minimize your tax liability current year. You also need to have some of these no tax coming out to minimize your future tax. Right, we consider that, you need to be balanced. You got to find the balance. You consider that you have a hot water when you shower, If you only lumped it into 401k and, you know, IRA, and when it comes out, it's all taxable and you're paying a lot of tax, but you still need to take it because if you don't take it, your RMD kicks in, the IRS is going to penalize 50%. So you have to take it out. But when you take it out, you pay a lot of taxes, full taxes. Okay. Now, if you have some of these, we call the cold water, you pay tax this year when you put it in, but you never pay taxes when it comes out. So we call it cold water, right? When you in a very high tax year, maybe your RMD, you need to take your 401k, and at the same time, you're downsizing your house, you're selling some of your investment property, then you increase a lot of your income. So your tax is going to be very high. So you're thinking about, okay, so if RMD, I can take it only up to the government requirement. And the rest of the money, I will take it from here. So I won't pay that much of taxes. At least I reduce my marginal tax rate. And hopefully my capital gain will not be taxable also. Is that cool? So it's very important that you hold and build some cold water reserve. In case the hot water shower on you, you can neutralize with cold water. All right, just take a very simple mathematics example. Let's say this is your tax rate when you retire. You need $60,000 to retire. If you only have hot water, which is your 401k, so you're going to pay layers of taxes total. You need to take out $77,857 from your 401k, pay $17,857 of taxes to net $60,000. Now, if this is all cold water. Now, if you are selling houses at that time and your AGI is 77,000. So very easy to cause your capital gain being taxed the whole amount at 15%. Now, how about if you build some cold water reserve? Instead of taking the whole amount from 401k, I take it in just enough on the 15%, $20,000. The rest of the 43,000, I take it from a life insurance reserve, cash value, or a Roth account, not taxable. So I end up only paying 15% of the 20,000 equal to $3,000 of tax liability that year. And my taxable amount, AGI, is $20,000. Now, here's the trick. $20,000, if I sell a house, a retirement, investment house, I may not need to pay capital gain. And another thing, maybe your Social Security retirement income is not being taxed. Okay, so this is so important to build that cold water reserve. Okay, build some of the strategy. My mouse doesn't move. Build some of the strategy into your long-term planning. Okay. Sorry, my mouse doesn't work. Can you still see my screen? Can you still see my screen? Okay, all right, I had to use this screen. All right, so remember, this is your cold water. This is your hot water. Okay, your time bomb. Okay, let me spend a little bit time on the 7702. Roth IRA, because if you have too much income, you cannot open a Roth IRA account. If your company does not have Roth 401k, you cannot contribute to Roth 401k. So what is your only left option is 7702. 7702 is a tax code. it says if you overfunded your life insurance policy and all the gains into your cash value account when you loaned it out as a withdrawal will not be taxable. Okay, so let's see how that works. I call it this 7702 IRS plan. It's like a one stone hitting 4 birds. So how are we going to hit 4 birds? Let's take a look at it. Here's a female, 55 years old. Now, it's her retirement account. She couldn't put it in the IRA, the Roth IRA account, because she make too much money. So she put in roughly about $1,000 a month and put it aside as if her IRA account. Okay, so in this policy, she's 56 and she paid for 10 years. In this policy, whatever, if something happened to her, her family is going to get the death benefit. Okay, this is the 1 bird. If she ever needs long-term care, let's say if she had a stroke or maybe a ski accident, and she needs care for walking around the house or getting dressed, getting into the bath, or feeding herself, you just need to help. 2 activity that needs assistance. This is called long-term care deemed needed. So they're going to pay out 500K in 50 months. So it's $10,000 a month. Okay, so this is second bird. Now, here's your cash value. Because this is a life policy, she overfunded, she put in $13,884 a year. She overfunded the policy. The leftover money is going to be invested tax-free. So she can tap into this money as a retirement supplemental income, tax-free. Okay, so this is another bird. So it doesn't matter how these benefits come out, it's all tax-free. Tax-free grow, tax-free out. Okay, so this is the call it 1 policy, 1 stone hitting 4 birds. Another thing, consider backdoor IRA. A lot of people is doing backdoor. I don't know if you're doing backdoor or considering doing backdoor. Put a 1 in the chat box. Let's see how many people are thinking about backdoor or you heard about backdoor. Nobody. What is a backdoor? Backdoor is a lot of people put in a lot of money in the 401k on the IRA, and they know that they are building the bomb, tax bomb. So they want to take some years before they RMD, right, require minimum distribution required by the IRS that they have to take out. So they take about some years before the 73. They're going to convert every year, convert some portion of that. They want to convert some portion of that into a Roth IRA. Now, we just talked about Roth IRA when it comes out, it's not taxable. So when they convert, they pay the tax now for the traditional IRA or 401k. And that amount is going to go into account. A new account is called Roth IRA. So when they continue to grow and when they come out in the future, it's no tax. And also it's not subject to IMD. Okay. Now I'm going to focus on it's a good idea to convert on what you should watch out. Okay. So why people convert traditional IRA to Roth, and why they spend so much effort doing it, very meticulously calculating that. Okay, first of all, because they think the future tax rate is going to be higher. So they might as well pay the tax now. Now, the timing is very important. I had the client call me. I said, this year I have to pay over $200,000 of tax. And so why? I said, my wife had converted $500,000 of the 401k. I said, when is she going to retire? She said, next year. I said, then why don't you wait until next year? And he said, she's IMD. They have to come out. Okay, I said, IMD, you're not coming out the whole thing. You're only coming out 3.6, 3.7% of that whole amount. All right. But anyway, so she said, oh, I heard some of the friends and telling me, and then we convert. And what are we going to do? The only thing is you convert it, you cannot reverse. Okay. You convert it and you own 200K of taxes, and then they will have to pay. There's no reversal, no reversal. Okay. So now when you convert, timing is very, very important. Don't be like my friend, and she didn't talk to me. I said, why you talk to me after you convert? She should talk to me before she converts, and she should probably wait until she retire when she do the big chunk of conversion. And this is number one. And you need to calculate your tax bracket, right? I talk about how important the tax bracket, the marginal tax bracket, it will cost you your capital gain tax, being taxed the whole amount. It will cost you Social Security income being taxed up to 85%. And so you really have to calculate your tax bracket. I'm going back to the tax bracket. I just want to make my point. If you are already between, let's say, 24 and 32, you are only just tapped into the 24%. You can convert the amount up to your 24%, but not over your 32%. Does that make sense? Okay, so you got to be very meticulous about your tax bracket. Or if you are here, you're 12%, right? So you're on this income. You probably, and you're thinking about selling some investment property. You better not to convert, because most likely you got push up your tax bracket and you push up your AGI and causing your whole entire capital gain being taxed. I hope I make my points. Okay, don't understand, and talk to me later. Coming back here. Okay, if you are under 59.5, you are only allowed convert every 5 years. Okay, and if you are under 59.5 and you convert, you must use other account to pay the tax. You cannot include the tax into your conversion, right? And if you're over 59.5, you can use that, but not suggest you to use the converted amount to pay for the tax. So otherwise you shrink your conversion, right? So you need to have cash available to pay the tax. Now, what is the best time to convert? So you need to look for those live events, the lowest income of your year. And you may need a couple of years to stretch it out. Don't overshoot your tax bracket. You need to convert it before any major income events, like you're going to cash out your property, right? Or you're going to get a big bonus, or a retirement package, or a whatever layoff package. If you're going to get a layoff package, and you better convert it before the package hit your bank. Okay. Why is converting to Roth IRA not always worth it? So a lot of people, I have a lot of conversation with my clients. is that, oh, I'm trying to meticulously every year I calculate, I take the, 10 years before I retire, I convert a little bit of that. This is like my baby, right? So now, once you convert it, you cannot reverse, right? So your traditional IRA was a tax defer forever until you use it or you convert it. So your tax due right away. Okay. So when you convert it, you may have a big impact on your cash account, and you may accelerate your tax bracket, which I talked about it before, and you may increase your tax bracket and affecting your IRMA. What is your IRMA? IRMA, it is the out-of-pocket expense to pay for Social Security, Medicare supplemental program. Medicare Plan A is free. It's for hospital. Plan B, C, and D, and those plans, you have to pay out of pocket. Depends on your income. So this is IRMA. One of my friends, one of my clients tell me and said, last year I only pay every month $250 IRMA, Plan B. This year, me and my wife both increased $250 each of us. So we total increase, we had to pay $500 or more for IRMA and getting the same benefit. I said, what is going on? So, okay, because they, of course, converted some backdoor IRA. Okay, that will increase your bracket. So it hits your capital gain, it hits your tax bracket, it hits your IRMA, and it costs your Social Security taxable. All right, a lot of people, they convert it, and it is like, oh, this is a, I don't have to use it because I have no IMD. So they get, it's hard for them to part it, hard for them to spend it. So at the end, whatever they don't spend, that at the end, whatever you don't spend, it won't go with you to heaven, right? Whatever you don't spend is going to leave on the earth when you leave. So a lot of people, because they so carefully converted those IRA, and one of my clients said, I probably need to leave to my kids. I want to convert it because I want to pay taxes first, so they don't have to pay taxes. It is a good idea. It's up to you. Okay, but I think if you really want to leave something good for the kids, life insurance is the best. You don't just get for dollar to dollar for Roth IRA and you pay tax on it. Life insurance is $1 for $10, or maybe $1 for $12, leaving it to the kids and tax-free. Okay, so leaving your Roth conversion to the kids, it is not a good idea. It's a very bad idea. Okay, so here's another thing. Make sure to take care of yourself first. Spend it down. Spend it down. Take care of yourself. Don't try to save and convert and leave it to the kids. How are you going to spend down? Now you have 401k. Turn it into a lifetime income. Turn it into like your Social Security. Every month you get a paycheck. You don't have to worry about, oh, the market just crashed 20%. Oh, the market just crashed 30%. I should not take money out. And then what are you going to do? You just live on the $2,000 of Social Security this month? And the market is going to take a while to get back. And then what are you going to do? So think about reallocated some of your 401k, those accounts into a retirement account that provide lifetime income. We call it annuity. You can use the rollover or conversion into an annuity. And then you don't have to worry about the market. It's totally disconnected with market risk. You have a guaranteed lifetime income. Okay, so if just something happened, this person doesn't live long, you still have a death benefit going back to the family. You won't lose it. But take care of your family. Take care of yourself first before you take care of your family. This is very important. Spend it down. Spend it down. Okay. So annuity has two types. One is you put the money in and then you take it out right away. Or you can defer it for a couple of years, from 1 year to 10 years to 15 years, whatever, you know. So you can defer it. There index annuity, right? This is very, very popular. I'm going to focus just on index annuity a little bit. So index annuity is index linked. They give you guaranteed return and guaranteed income. Okay, you avoid the bear market risk, but you reference the bull market. When the bull market, when the market is going up, you get the gain. When the market is crashing down, somebody catch you. Okay, so it will make your income growth like that, like a steps instead of ups and down and ups and down. The market crash, especially when you're near retirement, is very important. All right, even though you're not near retirement, you have $100. The market crash of 50%, so your $100 becomes $50. If the market grows back 50%, you only get $25 more. So you total only $75. You're not out of the hole yet. The market has to double the effort, grow 100%, another 25, another 50%. You just climb out of the hole, back to $100. So in order for, if the market crash 50%, in order for it to back to the original $100, the market has to grow 100% cumulatively. It will take years. So when you're near the retirement, you cannot afford market risk. Doesn't matter it crashed 20%, 10%, you cannot afford market risk. When people say, I put it in the bank does not pay you. And the bank pays you, and Uncle Sam take a bite first, right? The bank doesn't pay you that much. So, and the bank does not pay you lifetime. So annuity is possibly something everyone should think about. You should have some of that in your retirement portfolio. Okay, so what do they do? How does it work? When they grow, they give you guaranteed growth. Okay, now when you take money out, there are two values. One is the market, the green line. One is the guaranteed growth. We call the pension value or benefit base. Times the percentage, it's about 4 to 7%, depending on how old you're going to take income. You wait longer, you get more percentage. We call the income ratio. You want to take income right now after you just get in, you take a lower interest income rate. And also, it ties to your age, okay? You're 70 years old, you get in, 71, you want to get out. You still get a very reasonable, you know, above 6%. It's close to 7% because you're older, right? So remember, this is lifetime income. When you're older, you take income. The number of years you're taking income is less. So the insurance company want to give you back more. Okay, so income ratio times your benefit base, that is your guaranteed monthly, guaranteed annual income for life. This is the minimum. If market grows, you continue to get a pay increase every year. Okay, so for example, currently Nationwide has this person backdoor a 200K, a 401K. Now he puts it into an annuity. This is Nationwide's annuity, 200K. when he puts in, he already, his benefit base get a bonus bump up 30%. So he got 260,000 already. Okay, so if down the road he's 51, let's say if he wants to take income at 60 years old, so he got 4.4. Now, this is when the market has no growth at all. You still guarantee to have 8.5 for 12 years, 8.5, okay? So this person is going to guarantee to have a minimum if he takes out at 66, minimum 36,783. This is minimum. If the market has a little growth every year, he's going to get a new paycheck, new increase. Okay, so I just went through some of the long-term planning, short-term planning. Okay, short-term, remember, it can only reduce a little bit if you're lucky. If you're in W-2, probably you don't have a lot of room, but you can, make sure you need to have an HSA account. You haven't contributed any of the 401k, and you may think about doing that. So for the long term, we went through how to build the cold water reserve, like build some cash value into a life insurance to take care of your long-term care. And at the same time, you can maybe take some money out for retirement, or how to build an annuity, that guarantee you have a lifetime income, and they come out a little bit, they won't have a big, huge tax bill on your income. Okay, so that is about tonight's workshop. This is my email if you want to reach out to me for any questions. And my office is in Darien, and some people use WeChat. You can scan me. So I possibly have about, I can give 10 minutes for questions. I'm going to turn off the recording.